So now I would run through to our agenda for today. So we would first of all do the introduction, which I'm currently doing right now. And then afterwards, we're going to have our first speaker, Tunde, speak on the trends, pros and cons of IT careers and the gig economy. Afterwards, we're going to have a Q&A session, and then your questions will be focused on those topics, on the first topic that Tunde has just focused on. Then afterwards, the next topic would be various IT roles and requirements that will be taken by Bolaji, and then we'll have a Q&A on Bolaji's session. Then Bolaji and Tunde will run a joint session on developing an IT career, both offline and online, and then we'll run a Q&A on their session, and we will call it a day. So I hope that after all this, we would all have something beneficial that we can take home with us. So before we kickstart, I would like to give a brief background into our two major facilitators. One, we have Tunde McIver. Tunde is the founder and CEO of Monster Point Workspace Solutions. Tunde has spent the last 10 years in product development, project management, and business development. He is currently the founder and CEO of Monster Point Workspace Solutions, and they provide innovative workspace solutions that is curated to unlock productivity for businesses. The next speaker we'll have today is Bolaji Olawe, and Bolaji is the founder and CEO of Cerebro. Bolaji has spent over 10 years as a software engineer and architect leading product teams and building large-scale applications. He is currently the founder and CEO of Cerebro Smart Working, a tech talent outsourcing platform. So you can see that we have two seasoned people that are very, very necessary to deliver today's topic. Now, I would like us to go through a few housekeeping rules, a few webinar rules. Number one, please, all participants must remain cautious. If possible, please, everyone should turn off their video so we have smooth network connectivity. Also, all attendees will be on mute, except unmuted by the host. So during the Q&A session, if you need to be unmuted, we would do so. So attendees can switch between viewing the speakers and the presentation deck. So if you're viewing this with your mobile phone, you can just double click on the bottom right and it would help you switch between enlarging either the video of the speaker or the presentation deck, as the case may be. If you're using an iPad, it's the same thing at the bottom right. And if you're using your desktop, it will be at the top right corner where you can be able to make that double switch. Afterwards, also we need to know that the questions can be typed in the message section in the chat box, and then we would ask them during the Q&A session. Please, let's stick to the Q&A. We'll stick to the Q&A times, and we would go and see how everything goes along. So if we're unable to take your questions today, please do not worry. Feel free to email us at support@cerebro.work after the meeting, and we will get to you. So we are going to kick off right now because we have a lot to learn. And I would hand over to Tunde McIver as he takes on the first session. Over to you, Tunde.
Okay, can everybody hear me, please? Okay, all right, I'm up now. Okay, good afternoon, everybody. I'll be spending some few minutes to enumerate on my thoughts and get everybody up to speed on some of the data behind why we have to have this meeting. All right, so I mean, COVID, post-COVID, but before COVID, the software as a talent or software industry, in terms of IT skill industry, has been growing at a double-digit growth rate. I mean, most economies in the world are probably growing at single digits, 6%, 7% at most. But that industry, both on the supply side and on the demand side, have been growing double digits on a compound annual growth rate of between average 15.3% average. And that's significant, because that shows that that's where the money is going. That means investment opportunities are moving in that direction, and it's not far-fetched. I mean, the whole there's an industry, software as a service. There's the hardware component of IT skill, and there's the cloud computing, and even there's everything as a service. Everything as a service means that like of Uber, it's almost like people want everything to be offered as a service. So before, we used to hail taxis physically and have to maybe steal by roadside or call people. But technology has been integrated to almost our entire life in such a way that it's practically impossible for you to live successfully in this age without enabling some of your service operations via technology. And then that brings a question to mind. If that is the fastest growing industry, then the question is, how do people who are not skilled in that industry begin to understand how they can pivot? Because our children, I used to tell people that I learned how to use computer. That means I was taught how to use computer as a kid. But my children are not going to learn computer. They're going to have to create softwares themselves. That means they're going to have to be coding. They're not going to learn. They're not going to learn computer. So they're going to be the skills that we require in their time is your ability to create. That means you're going to be able to develop and code. So in my own time, you have to learn what somebody else built. But the world is going to a point where everybody has to be able to create. So you might need something in your house, and your child might have the capability to write a few scripts to enable that services in your house. So that's where the world is going. And the reason is that technology is a labor-saving device. I'll put it in a simple way. It's what they call a labor-saving device. That means, before you had to go and wait on the main road for a taxi, but from the comfort of your office or your home, you can hail one. So the growth of technology is certain because it's a labor-saving device. That means people, as long as humanity exists and there are needs, people are going to be thinking of how to use technology to reduce the stress that man has to go through and improve productivity in particular. Because I remember back then when I needed a taxi, I wait 30 minutes, 45 minutes, on the roadside trying to look for hopefully one cab man will just pass. But in this day, you can be working in your office, you've ordered the Uber, it's coming, it comes to pick you. So who wouldn't want that? Why would you want to go back to, cab? And there are several examples that we can give. For instance, I would just like to put some data here. Like, for instance, the talent, how much is spent on talent payment in the software industry, is projected to rise to about 17.58 billion by the year 2023. That means the amount of salaries that will be paid, I'm talking about $1 billion, be paid to people who are working in the industry will be almost close to $17.5 billion. That's huge. So anybody that is working anywhere, the average for COVID, this report I'm talking about was prepared before COVID happened. So you can imagine what has happened now, because COVID has even accelerated the need for technology skills to enable human beings to stay productive in case there's another pandemic that would possibly affect humanity. And pre-COVID, the software as a service industry was growing at a 21.1% industry, and at that time, people were spending $209 billion on software as a service. That's huge. That's huge. The entire Nigerian GDP is not even coming close to that. So you can imagine the amount of opportunity that lies in the IT industry. Of course, people have reservations about it, and they said but once is a labor-saving device that enables people to be more productive than they are now. It doesn't take much for anybody to latch onto it. Companies, the cloud war between AWS and Azure is another discussion I want to have. That means cloud computing is enabling people to be able to leverage on ubiquitous kind of work. That means you can work from anywhere you are. You don't have to be tied to an on-premise kind of server. that is limiting in productivity. Why would you want to go for that? Imagine COVID. Imagine companies that didn't have cloud operations. Pre-COVID, how would they have kept on business continuity in a situation like that? So, and the skills, there will be skills that will be needed to both build, maintain, and offer some form of help desk for these software solutions that will be developed globally. And I must say this, Africa has the youngest population globally. And the advanced economy software talent, I mean, the report I was reading some days ago said that the average pay for software talent in America is $120,000 US. I mean, that's a lot of money. that's a lot of money. That's running to 50 million, almost 50 million, even if not more per annum. So they are trying to look for alternative ways on being able to keep up with the demand. I mean, I can't remember. I'm not so sure, but I was reading a report sometimes that I said there's 1.3 million software jobs available per hour. That means in the global economy, people are looking for 1.3 million people to employ per hour. That means if you have the skills, you have the guaranteed job to deliver. I mean, I run a workspace solution. Some of the developers that work for my workspace work for companies that are in other clients. They're not Nigerian companies. At least I know there are 3 of them that don't work for Nigerian companies. They work in Nigeria, but for another company. The reason is that, one, talent is cheaper here. I mean, when you compare to other clients, and also they don't have to leave where they are. They don't have to know that change of environment has its own implication. So I'll just, I mean, that's basic about the opportunities in the industry. That's where the money is moving to. I mean, post-COVID, everybody's going to find how to leverage the technology to improve productivity. I repeat, it's not a sentimental investment. It's to improve productivity. So it's not that maybe people say software is nice. No. I mean, if you didn't have a cloud solution pre-COVID, probably your business would have suffered. Logistics they're using blockchain technology to enable logistics distribution across the globe now. So it's a labor-saving device that has come to stay. Then I'll just go to some of the top 10 software talents. I wrote them down. I mean, and this will give some level of direction to individuals that are listening who might not be techie of some sort. So we have cybersecurity, cloud computing, data management, artificial intelligence and machine learning, help desk and tech support, programming, IT architecture strategy. I would like to explain that briefly because people build softwares in silos. So they build software in silos and they have a lot of softwares running different applications. Those of, I mean, whether you will bear me witness, some banks just have all kinds of softwares doing all kinds of things. And there is no sync. They are not being synced. There's no architecture guiding the operational model. And sometimes even when you have too many softwares, it doesn't enable interoperability and productivity. That means if you have too many softwares and you don't have people that understand how to integrate them in such a way that it delivers the end product as it should. Because when you say productivity, it means that you are saving time. That means what should have taken you 3 hours is being reduced to either an hour or even 30 minutes. That's what we mean. That means you are able to deliver more per day than blockchain and of course mobile. So I've listed 10 top. I'll just focus on 2: cybersecurity and cloud computing. AWS is the hot kick talent now. Particularly, in fact, research I was going through said 80% of companies are testing. Those are not using it yet. Either they are using it or they are testing their solution on some form of AWS platform just to see viability. Microsoft is going aggressively after that market. I mean, in 2019, Microsoft's share of the market grew significantly. AWS still leads by 60%, but Microsoft is trying to catch up in terms of market share. But that's so, and there's a lot of talent needed to manage those cloud services. Definitely, cybersecurity has become the #1 skill based on what I read. People have been to school of thought, and you know that the new nuclear war now, the new war now is cyber war. That means your ability to protect yourself is what guarantees your
Okay, I think there's probably a network connectivity issue right now with Tunde. So I think Balaji can just continue for now.
Okay. Yeah. Hi everyone. Thanks again for joining. My name is Balaji. I'll just touch like 2-3 things before we go into the Q&A. Few things on that Tunde was speaking about. So I think he has spoken a lot about what's going on around the world, about IT and about the trend, the upward trend. As a fact, part of the stuff which was mentioned was currently now you are talking 6 out of 10 top 2020 hard skills are IT based. And that just is additional data that further reinforces the reason why it's important for you, if you're still trying to make up your mind to be able to pursue a career in IT. Currently now you also have the concern about the gig economy and the Generation Z. The reason why is because everything is changing. The transport industry has changed. Uber did that. The health industry is changing. And so every single sector, whether it's banking, whether it's industry, whether it's transport, every single sector is changing, and there is the need to be able to have, pursue, even if you're in health or whether you're in education, you need to be able to add, IT. And I think Tunde has done enough justice on that. I think there are a couple of questions. Do you want to take that, Billy?
Okay, so the first question we have here is, just pulling it up, hold on please.
Okay, I think the first question here is, what strategies should one follow in upgrading his IT skills?
Okay.
Okay, so I'll just take that. Yes, so I'll take that question now. I'll take that question now, and then please note there's another question. Please email the presentation slides for further study. Yes, the presentation slides will be made available to everybody at the end of this session. This question about what strategy should you follow, we'll take that during the third segment. I think there's a third segment on the agenda which will be able to address that. So please, Isa Magaji, just hold on. You'll be able to address such once.
Okay, so I think there's a question here that says, what are the basic IT skills you would encourage one to get at this time?
Okay, so the basic IT skills would depend on what your industry is and what you have flair for. Just after this Q&A, we'll be reviewing a kind of matrix, a guide that shows you into, okay, which kind of skills should you pursue? Are you someone that is programmatic? Are you someone that is a programmer? Do you want to go into programming? Are you someone that is knowledge-based? What kind of skills are within that sector? Are you someone that is visual? You are creative? You like designs? Are you someone that likes products? So all those, we'll be able to answer those questions in the next segment. So just stay tuned.
All right. And then the person also asked where they could get such skills, but I guess we'll answer that in the next segment. Okay, so now to move on, we will now move on to your segment now, Bolaji, talking about the various IT roles and their requirements. Okay.
All right, I think Tunde is back.
Oh,
Welcome
okay.
back to me.
Tunde, you're muted. You're muted. All right. Sorry, Tunde, we can't hear you.
Okay, I think I'm up now, right? Okay, so I was talking about cyber risks and I got cyber risks kind of. So I was locked out of the system. So, I mean, well, I think I had a network glitch, but that's so. These are redundancies and things that software engineers have to factor in when they are building an architecture. I was discussing with a friend yesterday and he was telling me how that for 5 years, when GTBank moved significantly towards going digital in terms of their products and services, that they had to work a plan that for 5 years they had no downtime. I mean that's debatable, but I was impressed that for 5 years, and that didn't happen by accident. They must have employed the service of skilled individuals to help them develop a system that has double layers of redundancy. If this one fails, this is what happened. And so companies are looking for individuals that can help them stay up all the time without having to be exposed to any form of cybersecurity risk or even a downtime. So I think I'm giving a brief, I think I've gone quite advanced on some of the things that I need to talk about. There's more, but I think the gig economy means economy that depends on skilled individuals who can work remotely and are not tied to kind of, the relationship between them and the employer is based on deliverables. It's not a typical employment contract. That's basically what the gig economy means. That means I can be working for a company on a project-based agreement in US or in China, and then based on the skill I'm offering. And software, I must tell you, is one of those skill sets that can make you work when you want to, and then don't work when you don't want to, and then you still have a good life to live. So that's about it for my own session. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Tunde. While you were gone, we had some questions that Bolaji asked, that Bolaji answered, and then there's still some more that have come in. So I guess we could just quickly run through those ones so you could answer them. I think they relate to your session. Is that fine? All
yes.
Right. Okay, so the first one I have here is I work in the bank with over 12 years experience in relationship management. I have a certification in business analytics from the HBS. I am presently learning Tableau and Power BI. How does analytics fit into IT?
Yeah, so yeah, it fits because in product development, you have to analyze, and because there are ITs, the only skills that are required are not just, there are soft and hard skills. Let me just be like you have to also have business analytical skills for that industry. So if you are building an IT product now, you must understand how to match what the market needs with what you are producing. It's not just going to be building. So those skills are also important in the market. So for instance, now when we're doing design thinking for some products we're looking at, we're thinking through. I'm not a developer. I'm not a software developer, but I build technological products. So the role I play is to analyze a product, is to do a business analysis. Is it going to be profitable? Because it's a fad, though. IT is not always profitable. I mean, Balaji will be everything. It's not every IT idea that you can run that will deliver returns. And you can spend so much money on an IT idea and it will deliver nothing for you. So at the same time, you need people that understand how to identify where the opportunities are, where the pain points, let me put that, because IT should not solve candy problems. It should not be solving candy problems. They should solve real problems that people are willing to continually need to be solved. I mean, logistics will always be a need. People always want to move around. So leveraging technology to enable ease of logistics or movement is a no-brainer in terms of a solution. But some IT solutions that just make you feel good, it might not necessarily be, so your ability as a person to identify where businesses should focus their resources in developing products and services that are painkillers or are the minimum vitamin that that deals with at least basic, something that people are really, really looking forward to, not nice to have or some luxury feeling. Those exist, that market exists, but I'm talking about if you want to really build a scalable business model that you can now deliver value to a lot of people on a large scale. I think that your skill, because it's not everybody that's going to go into the core technical skills, technical IT skills. There are other skills that are required to support the IT industry, product developers, business analysts, as mentioned, are needed to do that. Even business, the people that are going to be sealing deals. For instance, now the federal government project, the US government project that Amazon and Microsoft went for. Even though Microsoft won it, but the process wouldn't have been, it's not software developers that midwife that process to conclusion. It's still business people, but I understand the IT business at that level that would have midwife the transaction. So that also provides some comfort for individuals that might not necessarily have the time or the patience to go through the rigor of learning new IT skills. I think I've answered your question, I believe. Balaji, you want to chip in?
Balaji, sorry, you're muted.
Okay, so I'll.
It's on mute, Balaji.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, can you hear me now?
Yes.
All right, so I'll just, I think this diagram will answer some of the questions which some of us have asked into, okay, what do I do? Which sector do I go? So like Tunde has rightly said, there's quite a whole lot of things you can do. And it depends on what your style is or what your flair is. So some people are just like, some people are knowledge-based people. Some people, are artistic, they are media-based, they are graphical, they like visual stuff. Some people just like to design products, they are product designs, just like Tunde said of himself. Some people like programming. So it doesn't mean that everything in IT is programming. Absolutely not. There's just a small segment that is programming. Some people are scientific and mathematical. Some people are just PhD stuff. They just like functions and stuff. They don't really know how to build websites. Some people are just engineering, they are infrastructure people, so they are different, depending on your flair, you have this stuff. So for knowledge-based people that you basically like to share, okay, sorry, while we're at, there is a poll that is, I think it should be visible now. Let's just, so that it helps the everybody answer properly, it helps the facilitators answer. Just fill in that poll. It says, are you already into IT, or are you trying to switch into IT? If it's visible, please just answer the poll. I'll just continue with what I'm saying. So for people that are into knowledge-based people, you have information consultants. There are some people that are information consultants. All they do is they can sit with a business and say that, okay, this is how, maybe you're a hospital, this is how you want to move forward. So this is what you would do. First of all, we'll set up this application for you, set up this website for you. You should make sure your doctors can type into this and this. If you type into this, we'll now need to get this kind of personnel for you. They're just information consultants, and they help businesses a lot. Now, something more complex along the knowledge field, you have software consultants. So those ones are good in one or more software platforms. So some are good in Google's platform, some are good in Microsoft's platform. You have some Microsoft certified these. So they can tell you that if I'm going to use the Microsoft stack or the Docker stack or the Google stack to solve your problems, this is what you should do. So for example, they know, the same people know that the same thing you can do with Google Office is the same thing you can do with Microsoft Office. But some people are Microsoft certified and they can tell you this is how you should use Microsoft to solve it. So those are consultants. They are social media and digital marketing consultants. They don't know how to code, but they really help businesses to go online. You know, along that sector also you have people that are maybe do SEO and stuff. You know, they just, it's a bit more complex for their knowledge people. Then you have artificial intelligence people, business intelligence consultants. You have product managers also in this sector. So they all work in the knowledge space. So I'm sure, as we can see, there are so many fields that are not necessarily programmatic. Let's move to if you are artistic or you are kind of media based person. So you like visuals, you like graphics. So there are people that do voiceovers. They just have voices. And most products need animated videos. So let me even just start. The first level, you have people that do graphic design. There's nobody that doesn't make graphic. If you want to go into IT and you can design graphics, flyers, logos, banners, tons of businesses need people to do those things for them. Tons of businesses. They need people to design flyers for them and they are waiting. They don't have logos. You know, they need people to just do a good job. Now you have businesses that don't have products needs to do animation to describe their product properly. So they need whiteboard to the animation. That's a bit more complex, but there are people. So even if you don't know how to program, you can build animation. You can even have voiceovers because all animations need voiceovers. So there are people that are within that sector as well. Then a bit more complex are people that are into 3D animation. Then at the very, very complex level, you have people that do augmented and virtual reality, AR and VR. Augmented reality is, okay, let me start with, you know, virtual reality means that I wear something like a virtual aid, like a big, sometimes they like big goggles, Samsung makes them, and then I can see if I'm turning my face, I'll be looking right, I'll be looking left inside that VR. That's virtual reality, all those goggles that you see that are big. That's virtual reality. There are people that build all those things. Augmented reality is what I'm seeing. So augmented reality means that I can look at a cloth. I'm going to a shopping mall. I view the cloth online and then I put the clothes, see how the cloth fits. That part is augmented reality. Now, under user design and product design, if that is your flair, you are talking web design people that do UI testing. Those are people within user design, product design. Then people, this sector also, UI, UX design, those are people that build mockups. Before any significant website is built, you need someone to actually do the mockup. The person will actually design how the website will do. If you click this way, you're going to go, how the button is going to work, how you're going to be able to submit a form, how you're going to be able to view a list of people. All those are people that do, you know, mockups. And even still within that design, you have product managers. You know, product managers are a bit unique, as I put in those two places, because they are like the bridge between engineering and tech and business. So they are trying to see how do you want to use a product to solve a business problem. So a product manager is concerned of three things. Number one, how the user experience, how you that you're interacting with an app, how you can interact with it well. Can it solve your problem? Is looking at business values. Is it solving the business? A business wants you to easily sign up and buy something. An engineering person is looking at all the buttons working. Do you get? But a product designer knows that what the business needs is for these people to buy this product quick and maybe to even buy more products. So a product manager is telling the UI UX person that, okay, come, after they finish buying, can you suggest some things to them? His business is not how the button works or how it does not work and all that, or the code. So that's a product manager, very unique. And if I might say, product managers are actually on the top tier of earners now, because in fact, they're actually earning close to and even higher than top senior engineers, because they are like the mini CEOs that make the product work. So something like Uber is not an app. Uber probably has a series of product managers. Uber is not just an app. Uber is a product. That's why a lot of people have tried to build Uber and they come up with all sorts. It's not about the code. It's the product. Someone that sits and makes sure that this thing meets a business case. That's a product manager. Now, along the very common programming, if that's your style, you like programming, code and stuff like that, You're talking about a very initial level markup, basic website design, HTML, CSS, that's what most people learn. Then if you move a bit complex, you're talking about developers. Developers basically use a framework to achieve an end. So they don't just write code, they need to write it in a very significant way. So you have front-end developers. So everything you actually interact with in a web application is a front end. The back end people, you don't actually see their work, but they're the ones that communicate with the back end, communicate with the infrastructure, write your business logic and all sort of back end code. Mobile developers build the mobile apps that you see. And then you also have software engineers. So software engineers basically have a bit of more experience more than developers, more than software developers, in that. So if you say a software engineer doesn't just understand how to write code, he understands on which platforms and on which systems to make it work. So a software engineer thinks of, okay, what other technology notifications, should we make our databases scalable? If everything goes down, if this whole application goes down, how will you recover? An engineer is a bit more concerned about the systems that is making it work, the different systems. So an architect is someone that has done so many years of software engineering and can now say that this is what you want to build. You want to build Uber, this and this and this is what you need. First, this is the platform you're going to put it. Then you need this kind of developers. I need a media developer. I need this. So the person can draw up the entire thing. And then with big data, people are able to analyze huge tons and tons of data and try and make sense of it. I'll just move a bit fast. So you have people that are scientific and mathematical, people that do data science, people that do statistics, languages like R, Python, they do modeling. Their arm is just basically very scientific. So, and then some people are just infrastructure. They are thinking of DevOps, how the whole operational cycle of of developers, then system engineers, cybersecurity engineers. So I just decided that this will help us be able to know that. So where will I work, or where will I be able to fit? Yeah. So someone asked a question. Someone asked, "I hate mathematics. Can I still do well in programming, e.g., Python?" Well, it depends on what you're doing. So, for example, not every. I will say that generally coding. So I will assume that you want to work in this programming and coding aspect here. So if you want to work in programming and coding, it's not always mathematical, but you still need to understand logic. That one you can't. If you're a programmer, you need to understand logic. In fact, I will say that programmers are high level, they are very logical because everything you're going to solve as a problem is logic. Nobody's going to tell you. It's like saying that, let me give you to understand the logic part of a programmer. So I speak, okay, I'm Yoruba now. I speak Yoruba. I speak English also. Now, to be able to make a good speech, is it just about speaking English? It's not just about speaking English. It's about knowing how to construct the words that makes you eloquent. So as a programmer, it's not about learning the programming language. A proper programmer is about knowing how to use that programming language to actually build things and solve problems. So if you don't mind logic, you will do well, even if you hate mathematics, though mathematics is still significant because you're doing a lot of things like loops and all those things. So the question, I'm just trying to answer questions at the same time with this segment just because of time. So for someone that is doing business analytics in a bank, how does analytics fix into IT? Is huge because you basically help the people in the bank make decisions. So if you're able to take all the customer data in banking, take all the customer data from how they log into internet banking, how they don't log in, how many people are asking questions, how many people have problems. If you're able to show that, it seems that people that are over 65 are always having problems with internet banking. If you show your management that properly, you are helping them make a decision. It's IT. So that is very important. Even if you say you're in relationship management and you're taking business analytics, it's huge. You help them make decisions. Or if you show that all people that are between 25 from all your customer data, people that are between 25 and 35 are the one that actually borrow money more, are the one that save money more. Then you can help the bank decide that let us target these products towards those people that are 25 to maybe 35 because your analytics showed it. So Tableau and Power BI are very, very useful. So one more thing, I'm just going to move to the next slide, sorry. So the next slide, I'm just going to touch a couple of things. Believe, do I still have time?
You still do.
Okay, all right. So I'll just quickly run through some of the very common IT terms, or what we sometimes call jargons. So for example, what's the difference between websites and web applications? Websites are just things that they just provide information for you. Web applications actually are, okay, let me give a very simple example. There are some sites you go to, like maybe some company websites, you just want to see their vision, their mission, how many products they have, that's all. That's a basic website. They are interchangeable, but most of the time, websites are used in the case of which, okay, they're just presenting information. Web applications, on the other end, actually, you need to do something with data. So probably you're logging in, you're viewing database systems. So you can say in simple terms, web apps are a bit more complex. They have a backend, you need to log in, they need to work with the database, they need to save your data. What they show to you is different. So a shopping cart is actually part of the website, but it's more of a web application, if you understand. So you can have some businesses that have a website, but you can just choose those websites, you can just choose that this is the product I want to buy and then maybe send them an email. But the web application part is when instead of sending an email or saying this is what I need, you can actually buy the thing and pay for it. That's an application. Mobile applications usually refer to native things on your phone. So they're different from mobile web. Mobile web means I can go to yahoo.com on my phone. Mobile means I can go to Linda KG on my phone. That's mobile web. But mobile apps are the things like WhatsApp. Those ones reside on your phone. They are native. Sometimes they call them mobile native apps, mobile apps. Progressive apps are like a hybrid between web and mobile apps. They are not like WhatsApp or the one that is really, really on your phone. I don't know what other native apps we have, but they are like web applications, but they also behave. They will just sit on your home screen, but it's not really a native app. It's heavy, you know. Responsiveness basically means that if I build a website, if I view it on a mobile phone, will it show properly or will I be scrolling left and right? That's just what responsiveness means. It just means that is this website responsive, meaning that if I put it up on my phone, will I be able to view it? Let me just touch a bit on infrastructure, servers and server farms. Okay, let me just leave this. Let's move to Q&A. If there's any other questions along this, then probably we can come back to ask. So I don't bore us. Yeah, Billy, please.
All right. Okay, so we've got some more questions, and I think they're more directed at you. One is, in regards to graphics designing as a career I want to pursue, what considerable course can one study in the university as a master's program? I may even want to add to that one and say, does one have to go through a master's route? Is there any other study route that one can do if they want to switch to IT?
Okay, so yeah, this is a very common question we all encounter. I will say that it depends on you. There are two things. Do you want to be a graphic designer or do you want to have a master's? There are two different things. If you want to be a graphic designer, you need to go for master's in the university. But if you want to still have your master's, then fine. I think there are a few universities that have maybe something in maybe branding or maybe a master's program like branding, a master's program like user interface. I think there are some few American universities that offer things like that. So I'm just trying to marry what you're writing on graphic design as well as a master's program. But as I said, if what you want to learn is to be a fantastic graphic designer, you don't need to have a master's. If you want to have a master's, you can have a master's in psychology. Well, so it's up to you. If you must join both of them, then few universities. If you want to learn graphics, you can. There are tons of free courses that are online. There are people that you can network with. There are graphic design courses that are on Udemy and all that one. So you don't really have to go to university to study a master's to be good in graphic design. But if you must, then the kind of courses you will need are things like maybe branding, user design, product design. Those will be the kind of titles you'll find. Maybe usually around some European or American universities that have that.
All right, thank you. So the next one is, how can someone evolve from the artistic side, like graphics design, into the user design field, especially UI, UX?
Yeah, so I'll say you're already 50% done. If you're already in graphics design and you want to move into UI UX, you're already 50% done because you already have the artistic side. So the only thing you need to do is learn the tools that they use in UI UX. So you're talking tools like Figma, tools like Proto. You can Google them. There are tons of tutorials on them. And of course, if you're there, eventually on a regular basis also we have webinars and lessons targeted towards this. So I think you should already be, if you're on this webinar, you probably can get an email if there's any field. But as I said, the simple answer is if you're moving to UI UX, you just need to learn the tools. So the tools will now tell you, okay, let me start a new page. Let me insert a button. This button doesn't look good. If they click this, let me make sure that they see it and they can scroll down before they click this and this. So you already have the artistic side. The only thing that is left is for you to learn the tools, especially tools like Figma, Proto, Adobe XD. They are called prototyping tools.
Okay. So someone is asking, they would like to know what institutions hire digital marketing.
Institution, I'll tell you the number one people that hire digital marketing are businesses. So businesses, every business needs someone to do digital marketing. Every business wants to sell more. There's no business, there's no business that doesn't want to sell more. So digital marketing just means that how do you help them to reach a greater market? You know, okay,
Today is trying to talk.
Okay, SMC, you're mute.
I think as a question, I just want to quickly jump the gun. And I'll link it. Digital marketing has evolved. And so there's there's what they call direct response marketing. I don't know if Balaji will reference. There's what they call direct response marketing. It's a form of digital marketing, but it's a different one. Because really, everybody's doing digital marketing now. So if you are going to differentiate, and the fast-growing software companies use what they call direct response marketing. You know, that factors in it's a lot more scientific in the way they market, the way they create content and digital images, because they are trying to elicit response and it's targeted on sales. It's not trying to make you feel, I mean, there are few good graphic designs that would motivate and inspire. But in the construct of that marketing, the skill that is required is your ability to write in such a way that they can easily track how many people are actually buying products or services from this particular company because of the way and manner in which you communicate. You know, where you are making them, so it's a lot more, the fast-growing digital platforms and e-commerce sites actually use what they call direct response marketing. They don't use digital marketing. Digital marketing is like the basics. So if you are going to take any new learning, you know, go and read about it. You know, how to build funnels, how to build funnels and all that, how to capture email, how to orchestrate in such a way that your actions are delivering sales. It's all about the sales now to people, not just building followership and likes, you know, because there's a lot of like out there, but businesses need to, so they could like your post, but at the same time, I'm just, for the person talking about digital marketing, for this age, people are looking for direct response marketers, not necessarily just a pure digital marketer so anybody that can, because once you can do that, they can even command more salary, you know, yeah, because they can tie your activities to know that they.
I agree with Sunday absolutely, because usually people always confuse social media marketing and digital marketing. Digital marketing is very broad, and I think what you need to do is know the aspects of digital marketing. So I'm sure people usually think everything under digital marketing is social media marketing. You need to look at other aspects, like Tunde is saying. Like the direct response he mentioned, like even something like inbound marketing also. So it's not just, you know, when you say digital marketing now, people just think that, okay, let's advertise on Facebook.
Exactly.
ads. Things have gone beyond that. Because at the end of the day, businesses have woken up that, so after you burn my money on advertising, how much do I make? I don't make any money. You burn $100, $500, you advertise on Facebook, advertise me everywhere. Yes, I'll realize it. I've not made any money. So there are new concepts like that we just said. Another one is inbound marketing. It's part of digital marketing, but that one helps you to write. And I think that also matches the person that asked. I have skills of reading and writing.
Exactly.
How do I talk about a product that will make people now come and visit me? So, for example, I'm selling makeup. I'm selling skincare products. How do I write about the importance of skincare? So it's like when you finish writing for the people, they know they have a problem, even if they didn't have a problem before. That's inbound marketing. So you write, or people think they need to have your app. Maybe you have an app that is doing transport, and then you first write, in short, not a piece, you write something about the problems of transport in Lagos. And then you now say that, see how this app makes your life better. That's inbound marketing. You are, instead of selling yourself to people, you are bringing them to come and do for you. So there are other aspects of digital, and everybody is looking for digital marketing, but you need to be skilled which aspect of digital marketing you are. Don't say I know how to place Facebook ads. I beg. There are enough of people that know how to do that. So I don't. So that's it, Sha. I have skills of reading and writing. Literally, how can I pitch in the IT sector? We spoke about the artistic stuff. About if you're artistic, you're media, you're graphical. You will write. The people that call script writers. So if you knew how to, well, I will say more of the writing part. If you knew how to write stuff, you can write scripts for people. There are businesses to do an animation. You need to, can you tell a story? So you could do that. You could do copywriting. You see, when you see top sites, let me say what I want to say. When you see some top sites, the way they craft the thing on the site, it makes you want to click, want to buy. That thing is called copywriting. Sometimes the ones that make you want to buy, they are called sales copy. Do you understand? So someone comes to a website now, you just see that our application is very good in health. And so what? But you see some sites, they will just say that take charge of your healthcare, cuts down your healthcare by 4%. That called sales copies. They make you want to engage. Not just my vision and mission is how we can. Who cares about your vision and mission? You understand? It doesn't call me to action. So all those kind of writing. Then the things for animation and script like that. So there's a lot of sectors that you can work with writing. Sales copy is there. Sales copy is there. Script writing is there. Writing script is there. So that's for that. How can I match accounting and IT? I'm already into C# programming. Well, the first thing I can easily think of now is two things. You could be a software consultant, and then you can actually be a programmer. Depends on your flair. So if you hate coding, then you could be a software consultant. So that means that if you are good with accounting, then you could become very good in one of the accounting softwares and then turn that into a consultancy service. So for example, you're good in, I don't know, you're good in accounting. So maybe you're using things like Sage, or you're using things like QuickBooks, or you're using software that do accounting like Docker. If you do those, then you can now say that small businesses that need accounting help, you combine that your consultancy knowledge in IT and go and render them a consultancy service. You are already into IT. You don't need to program, But if you really like programming, you're into C#, then maybe you should start building little help, little snippets, little apps self. Maybe if you identify a problem that accountants are having, maybe they are passing bank statements, and you think that you can make it easy for them, then write an app that simplifies that. So it depends on, like in this screen on the, even if you want to, there are different flares that determines on how you play. All right, are there no?
Yeah, I've got some questions that were sent to me privately. Just take them and move on to the next session. So one says, I'm currently working for a very popular cloud support company as a customer support professional, which has made me interested in IT. How can I move from just IT support to data analytics?
Okay, yeah, so data analytics, so there are two aspects of data analytics. There's the visual aspect and there's the programmatic aspect. usually there's something with term business analytics, which is more of, okay, I'm able to, so that one is visual. I'm able to take a lot of business data, customer data, support data, all the data I've gathered, then I'm able to visualize it and to help people to make decisions. That one is more maybe what they call business analytics. So that that data, you can now build it into a nice, those are the tools you use, things like Power BI, Tableau to do. So that is one part of analytics. Then there's the data science part of analytics where you're trying to, that one is the one that links you deeper, I want to say deeper and deeper into, into programming. It depends on you whether you want to go that route. So things like you're using statistical programs like Python or R to analyze all those different data and then use it to build a model and eventually go into deep learning. That one is, as they call it, is deep. So it's up to you if you really want to go that route. So that's why I say it's your flair. Are you visual or are you programmatic? Are you that scientific that you want to be using analyze statistical stuff in Python or R to be able to analyze that data? But if your own is just this data, let me make it visual, then I think you should pursue something in business analytics. Go for a training in Tableau. Go for a training in Power BI. There are tons of them online. Over time too, if you check our events page, we'll be sending you when you have such training. But if you want to go into the real mathematical part of the analysis, then you can go into things like data science and data analysis and predictive analysis and then machine learning and all those things. So you can either go right or left.
Okay, thank you. Then another person is asking, please, as a beginner, how can I start a career related to data, big data, data analysis, and what are the requirements?
Well, the requirements are you. The number one requirement is you and what you want to do, like the slides that we're sharing on the screen. So like the previous question I asked, what kind of person are you? When you say related to data, do you like to visualize data or do you want to really do the real, do you want to use a tool to analyze the data and show people, or do you want to actually help in creating the analysis yourself? It's just similar. So big data basically is a concept in which you help harvest data that are being generated. So, so for example, big data just means that there are there's so much data done. Okay, let me give you something. So we're attending this webinar now, yeah? What are the very visible data points that you can see? The number of people that are attending the webinar, yeah? Or the number of people that are speaking. Those are the data points that you can see. The other data points you might not want to see is how many people are asking the questions? What time did they join? What is their age range? The people that quickly ask questions, what is their age difference, people that are not asking questions? You know, those deep data, big data is the field in which you're harvesting data that is not even visible, and then you are using it to train a model and go into machine learning. So like, I don't know if I've answered the question. So it depends on you. What is your flair? There are different things you can do in data. There are visual things you can do in data. Like I said, you can learn, that's business analytics. You can help a business now, for example. You can help the business harvest all their maybe customer chat or all their sales data and help them visualize it and take on what product is going to sell tomorrow. That's business analytics. But if you are the programming type, then you want to now start learning things like Python, creating models, writing models. That one you're going really into a lot of programming. So there are multiple things you can do as a career in data.
Okay. So there are a few more that we've received, but we'll put them on hold for now. So we'll go into the next session and then we could ask them at the closing Q&A session. So now we're going to go into the next session titled Developing Your IT Career. And both Tunde and Bolaji will be taking the session. So over to you, Tunde.
Okay, so just got a few things because this is a very important question. One of the ways that one of the first things that I try to establish is that many of us have the capability to do more than we think we can. Because people say, I mean, it's the mind, because I need to say this first before I start going into methodologies. It's the mind that is the most important asset you have to deliver on your switch. And once you are able to accept personally, first and foremost, that you can make that career switch, then you are 50% there. Because some people would go into to switch and say, am I sure I can do this? That decision itself is an inhibiting mindset. And without making up that mind, I mean, there are several things that I can do as a person. And the reason why I'm able to do them is because I made up my mind that as a human being, you have inherent abilities that you do not even know you have until you are subjected to conditions and situations that brings out those characteristics. And human beings can learn anything. You know, I mean, from what we have seen, I mean, people talk about artificial intelligence and machine learning, but you can see that even the way they do machine learning is repetition. You know, repetition. And I will start with that. First and foremost, identify what area of IT you want to go into. I've listed the fastest growing. If you think that you don't have enough time to go into the more rigorous ones like software development and what have you, then you can start with low-hanging fruits that just requires you to be able to configure. That means take some level of certification to be able to administer those software tools that already exist in the market and be able to serve as like a software, a help desk or technical support for those products. You know, that is, an angle I want to start. But there's there's a methodology that is known. I don't know if you've heard about it. They call it meta-skill. It's what they call meta-skill. Now, meta-skill is a system that you can use. So if I want to learn a new language, for instance, now, and I'm able to find meta-skill to learn that language. Once I learn that first language and I'm able to successfully learn that language, I can learn any other language. That means what I need to do is to deploy that methodology to learning other languages. So, and it applies to any new knowledge you want to acquire. You know, you can Google it. It's what they call meta-skill. So it's a methodology that requires, depending on who you are talking to, there are steps that you will take, 1, 2, 3 steps that helps you to understand yourself. Because understanding yourself is what we call self-awareness. There are 3 levels: level 0, level 1, level 2. Because I'm going this direction because I don't want to bore you, because I want to make you understand it's going to be a difficult task. You know, discipline is important and all that. But at the same time, there are people that learn multiple skills. There's a way they do it. That's what I'm trying to say. That is not just something that you can just wake up and begin to. You need to even find out first. Like, if I want to make a career switch and study and say, okay, if I've always been in maybe finance or always been in art, and I want to switch to core technology, I mean, there are materials out there that will show you first and foremost what you need to do on a gradual basis that will help you, because people have done it. They're not the first person switching career. I mean, I have friends that switch career from extreme courses, extreme end of the pool, and then are now even working for multinationals as IT professionals. So, but most of the time, you can get materials that will help you to first understand how you want to deploy yourself, so that you don't rush, you don't go into it and then you burn out. And then secondly, do you understand the industry? You know, I mean, I have a research document, it's just that it's a bit voluminous, and the format it exists, I can't really make it available public. I would have loved to share it with everybody here. That try to analyze the entire software skill industry in a very robust way and shows where the opportunities are, where the growth opportunities are, where you need to, and how they pay, and what are they. So understanding even where the money is, and how, for instance, now there's some courses that will take you longer. There are some that are shorter. You know, do you have a time for a longer course? What's the cycle of what's your learning cycle? Is it a course that can become a bit skillful to an extent in a year? Or there are some that will take you 6 months, or there are some that will take you 3 months, or there are some that will take you 2 years. Or there are some that will make you practically go and go under a tutor and serve as an intern in a firm that exposes you to the methodologies of developing your skill in that program. So I think fundamentally, those are things that you should first and foremost need to look at as a person before you even go into it. Once you identify the why, because to say, this is what I'm saying, I have experience working with people who would reach out to me in the middle of their career switch, and complain bitterly that this thing is hard. You know, that this thing is too hard. That, see, nobody told me that it's going to take this level of effort. But I've been able to help some of them. And one of the things that is very key, Bolaji will bear witness. In software, you need forerunners as your mentor, people that have done it before, because they will help you avoid the pitfalls, the accidents. People don't get accidents for this career switch. So all the accident that is there, if you have a mentor, he will just tell you, you don't need to go that way. These are the shorter ways. During our own days, we had time. So the accident was also costly. Maybe they were young, they're in university, you're young, so you could still make a lot of mistakes. But maybe you already have family, you can't use 3 years to learn software. You start to learn quickly so that you can be earning some money. So you need mentor. And I believe most of us here probably will fall into that category. So you need to find out people. If you don't know anybody personally, go to LinkedIn. Search based on the industry I've chosen. Go to LinkedIn, search for people. Reach out to them, message them that this is what you're trying to do. You will need them, they can guide you. Some people might be anonymous enough to do it. Some might not. But all you need is one person or two persons who will agree to do it. And then, because I've had to recommend people that are learning to people that help them. And they will tell me that that introduction made a huge difference in their learning process. That means they got to a roadblock. They could no longer proceed. And they were trying by themselves. They could not find how to go about it. I just spoke to somebody that had done it before and just said, you know, do like this, do like this, do like this. Because most times when you are practicing what you have learned, because if you don't practice, you can't really ascertain your skill level. So it's when you are practicing, you begin to face some of these challenges. And if you don't have anybody you can talk to and you're trying to do it all by yourself, you know, it might be highly discouraging. So in terms of the learning process, you know, it's important that you find mentors that will help you to cross over in those areas. And I think that meta skill I've shared is for those of us that you take time to read about it and understand how you can apply it to your own area of interest. There are a lot of free trainings out there, you know, but from my experience, I mean, I paid some sessions I pay a lot of money to attend because some things people don't make it public. You know, some very highly important information. It might be difficult for you to find it free. So you must really to also pay for. In this age, you can get quite a number of learnings free, but not all will be free. So if you want to have that edge and you want to have that extra knowledge, I think you should be willing to pay for some trainings. And those paid trainings also make you, when you have paid now, you won't be playing. You know, the money must convert. So it also puts you in a position to be a lot more responsible as regarding that. I think I'll just hold on a bit for that for Bolaji to take over the floor. I think I've delivered on some of the things I think are very important for me to share.
All right. I think I will also, and I like the dimension or the angle from which Tunde is taking. I think the number one thing, anyway, we have things written down already on the slide. So those are things written down. But I think the number one thing is you, and you need to be prepared for this journey. The thing I'll add to that is you need to, first of all, believe in yourself. No, it's okay. See, there are many things you can say, places where you can learn online, things you need to do, and they are written on the screen. Of course, we'll still repeat it verbally, but number one is you. Let me even say this. So like what Tony said, number one, it is tough. What I'll add to it is it's also, you need to believe in yourself and that it's your ability to learn fast. Like usually I lead a lot of like engineering and software coders, and the first thing I tell them is that your value is not being able to write code. Your value is being able to solve problems. And so I don't care about you learning the programming language. I need you to be able to solve a problem for me. So if your mindset is not right, then there is a problem. And part of, I tell them, number one, ability to solve problem. Number two, ability to solve the problems you have. As I said, let me repeat again so we're not confused. One of your strengths as a technical person is ability to fend for yourself. I've talked about the first part, which is ability to solve problems for businesses. They're the ones that are going to pay you. But then when push gets to shove, you need to be able to solve your problems yourself. How fast can you learn? How fast can you teach yourself? I know now, gone are the days in which you think moving into IT is getting certification. Go and get it now. Do you understand? It's not just about getting certification. It's good to get certifications to now show that I know this thing. But the most important thing is, how do you even know it? And to know it, you must be able to learn fast. You must be able to find materials yourself. You must be able to find people yourself. If you're going to move far and go far in IT, I said those two things, you must be able to learn fast, online resources, documentation, and then you must be able to find people. It just means you must be able to find help for yourself. You're going to have, and that is your own responsibility. There are people that will help, but can you find them? Can you put effort in finding them? You know, where can you find them? We started with LinkedIn. Where can you find them? That is why you have an academy. We have faculty people in Cerebral that you can reach out to. If you don't know where to start, send an email to support. So yes, people will help, but that drive has to be able to start, you know, from you. How well, in fact, one of the things I say is Google is your friend. How well can you search to find your problems? You know, so those things are very, very crucial. I remember usually when I think the earliest time I started serious coding, I'm not sure, I think it was, I think I was still in school then, maybe 2002 or something. And that time, like I used to give this example a lot, that time, you know, the internet just started. You had cyber cafe and stuff like that. There was this cyber cafe that you paid 350 Naira, they give you 7 minutes every week. So, I mean, they give you 7 minutes every day. So once if you pay 350 Naira, if I come maybe after lectures, then I spend 7 minutes, I check my mail and then I download articles and then I save them to this floppy disk. I don't know how many people know what floppy disk is or diskette drive then. Tomorrow I come 7 minutes. It means you must be able to drive yourself and look for it yourself. You can't waste that. Where am I going to get all the tutorials? It's like someone asking, where am I going to get tutorials to be a solid engineer? In one PDF. It's not possible. Do you understand? So if you need to look online, that drive, that's why I'm just hammering back on that number drive. I mean, that number one thing, skill, that's the number one skill, your ability to solve your problems for yourself, and that drive, that's the first thing. Now, obviously, there are a lot of things that we have written on the screen. Definitely, you're not going to go far unless you have equipment, you have laptop, you have internet. There's usually power issues nowadays, so yes, you should have COVID, as everything works with all safety, but if you have to look for a co-working space, you should look for a co-working space, you know, where you can actually work, so that, because you need constant power, you need you need not to be distracted. You understand? There's no way you can be watching TV and learning how to code at the same time. It's not a cakewalk. It's not joking. You want to learn about data analytics. You're learning one software and then you're watching, let me not even mention any TV show or anything like that. So you can't, if you need to be able to work and be dedicated and then have a serene environment, you have a laptop. I remember the first time I got a laptop, I had to do some jobs before I got enough money over a period of time to be able to buy a laptop, you know. So whichever way now, then you need constant internet. So the same thing you used to download a video on WhatsApp, you use it to download like 3 PDFs, you know. So you need to be able to have the internet and use it. And then you, so those are very important things on how you are able to develop. Then networking. So like Tony said, you can't do it alone. So find a way you can do networks. There are WhatsApp groups that are all over there. Even all you need to do is in a community. If you don't know, like for example, you can just shoot an email to Cerebral. Someone can link you to a community in Python or a community of voiceover people. There are communities all over there on WhatsApp. So one birds of the same feather flock together. If you want to learn how to move forward in graphics or this one, join a community there. You ask simple questions. Then of course, Google is also your friend. That ability to continuously learn, I will say, is the number 2 thing. Number 1 thing is your mindset. Number 2 thing is your ability to continuously learn. And number 3 is to find mentors and find people that can help. They will save you a whole lot of things. Yeah, and for people that are switching, it's fantastic. Trust me, the rewards are there. I think what we are trying to say in this segment is the rewards are fantastic. Once you're able to get to a point over the next couple of months, depending on how fast you can learn, to a year, the rewards are fantastic. But if you're not prepared for that 6 months or 9 months or 1 year before you become well skilled, then you can give up and you just get frustrated. Especially if you've been very careful, maybe you just lost a job, you have a family, you need a lot of mentoring. That's not the time to use 6 months to be reading article online when you have a family to feed, you know. So you need a lot of mentoring and people to be able to guide. Then fourth, I will say, the 5th thing I will say is you need to do lots and lots of free jobs. Don't worry, start with it. Because like I say most of the time when I'm training people, you become good not from reading online. You become good by actually having done something. So if you've not done a free job, you're an article, write a free article for somebody. You're in marketing, network marketing, do something free, learn it, do it for the person. You're in graphics, do a flyer, do a logo, you know, do a logo for someone, your whatever, your family, your relatives' business, do a free logo. You are programming, build a website for your alumni association, you know. Those are, somebody will see something you've done and then give you another one that will eventually pay you, you know. So you must be ready to have a mind for some kind of mentorship that allows you to be able to, doing the actual job. Usually it might be free, they might not pay you first, but the more you do it, the better. So instead of doing, I will say that there's also this, I don't know, I can't remember the code, maybe Tune, if you can help me. There's this thing about this 10,000 hour rule or something. If you
there's a 10,000 hour rule. Yeah,
become a veteran. So instead of you doing small, you read a bit today, then you read a bit next month. See, that your 10,000 hours, I hope you will not be 100 before you become a veteran. But if you pack it together and become very disciplined, so you know that, okay, I'm giving this whole month into it. It's going to take me time, it's going to take me money. Even if I need to pay somebody, I'm going to do free job. Pack those hours into it. You'll be surprised how much you will advance in just 1 week. You know, the first week you're learning something, do a job, do a free job. Those things are hours you're packing together. And in a short time, you'll just be shocked how far you're going to go. Okay, I think I've done a bit. Maybe if we could go into questions, or if you have something to add.
Okay, I think you've covered significant. Now, the 10,000 hours philosophy, you know, the book was written quite in a while, but I think that because when I read that book, I was scared, man. I was saying, how long is it going to take me to? If I'm going to have to learn a lot of skills. How many 10,000 hours do I have in my life? So I think, as I'll go back to there are arcs, there are new ways of learning. Learning has advanced. If there's something that Monster Point is kind of, what we're doing now is to find methodologies on how to improve human productivity. Because the age we are in now requires a little bit of agility and speed, you know. What probably you would have luxury to do for 3-4 years now, people want it faster. You know, I mean, you know, everything is fast now. Balaji, you know what I'm talking about now. The age. Yeah. So, and I think with that, because there's a lot of knowledge, advancement in knowledge out there, there's also a lot of methodology that you can use to fast track your learning. You know, learning better than probably it would have been maybe some 10 years ago. You know, so it's when we are going into it, because the mindset is key. You make up, man, I'm not going to spend 3 years on this thing. I want to learn it quickly because I want to be able to, because the market is there. So it's not like the software market is already there, looking for people that can deliver. So it's for you. So as soon as you can get yourself ready, the better for you. And so it will be, and you can join a faculty like Cerebral, because environment, being around people, just doing that work is also a very fundamental enabler. I know a lot of software guys that just because they even went to go and work with their brother somewhere in the office for 6 months, they picked up skills. Because the environment, there's collaboration. People, when you are not spending what you're trying to crack by yourself, you can just ask somebody and the person says, okay, do like this, and you're off to the next stage. So find those methodologies, find those environments that will help you to fast track your learning. And once you're able to learn a new skill over a period, then the same methodology can be deployed to other skills, because as the world is changing, continuous learning, just what I said, it is the way of the future. You can't, I read everything. Psychology, because the world is not looking, the way the world is now, they're looking for problem solvers. So don't tell me that that's my skill, but if it's a problem, you might be able to, the more problem you can solve for the people that are probably willing to pay you, the better for you. And software, the industry is huge. It's almost like all the industries that we had before, the way software is going is going because it's wide. All kinds of skills are going to be coming up. In fact, with this COVID now, people need to even develop more methodologies and skills. So your ability to find the ones that you can easily start with low-hanging fruit. Cybersecurity now, everybody's putting their head. It doesn't mean that you should do that, because sometimes when everybody now goes to a particular industry and they have excess, then the value for employee to be key to drop. So I think, but what I'm saying is that fast tracking your learning process is something that you have to think about. Read, find methodologies online, talk to people. People can advise you. There are people that, there's somebody that, there are people that know how to help you fast track learning. And some of these things they're not free sometimes. You might have to pay. But if you pay and something that will take you 2 years, I have to learn it in 1 year, and you're in the market, it's better off for you than trying to, by yourself alone, just feel that you want everything to be free. You have downloaded one video, you are watching video every day, and you're just there. Join an academy, Cerebral, find they have the capability to help you in the process, and then even probably provide off-takers for the opportunities that you are trying to develop for yourself. And those are my own thoughts generally.
All right, thank you, Tunde and Bolaji. So we've got some questions from that session. The first one I have here is, are there people in Cerebro that are into the UI, UX that we can learn from or meet with?
So Cerebro operates a faculty system. So yes, they are. That's the first answer to the question. We operate a faculty system, or I will use a crowdsourced faculty system. So because we bring in as the best of people that we can find in every single sector and in every single skill. So it's crowdsourced, meaning that they're able to provide the kind of assistance. So yes, absolutely. If when you are registering, you put UI UX as one of the skills which you are interested in, then yes, you will get, once there is maybe a webinar, whether free or whether paid, into that, you can always, you'll be notified when there's a webinar. So yes, there are people in the faculty and they will always have events. This is a general event. So there are also skill-based events on a regular basis. The other thing which you can also do is join the Slack channel, and then you can engage with people directly within that UI UX field or skill.
Okay, so I think someone that just asked about joining a WhatsApp group. So Michael, there's been a response to that. We have a Slack channel that you would join once you register on Cerebro. So another person is asking here, I teach sciences. Which area do I go into to harness creating simulation for different topics?
Okay, so if I read right, simulation as in, what simulation will fall into, I don't know, things like their visual style skills, things like 3D, 3D, and then AR and VR. If that is, I'm not sure if that is what you want to go into, but if I interpret what you mean as simulation, then yes, those are the kind of things. So for example, you're teaching sciences, I'm not sure which part of sciences, maybe medical sciences or biology type sciences, or is it the chemistry type sciences, or physics, whichever one it is. So let's say you want to teach someone the concept of maybe blood flow. Now, I don't know what part of science is, or maybe the concept of gravity. So if you want someone to really see how it is in a simulated environment, then you might have to be able to learn how to be able to learn those skills, which is in 3D animation, AR or VR. Then I also don't know that, do you just want to create the simulation and offer as a service, or do you want to do it yourself? Because, for example, if all you want to do is create a product, you don't have to learn the thing yourself. You can just get people, you know what it is you want to do, you write it down, then get people that will build it. So I just answered it from different angles, hoping that your question has been answered.
All right. Okay, so another question here is saying, is it ideal to combine the knowledge and programming or coding domains? If yes, what is the most reasonable approach to achieving this?
Yes, of course. People work across multiple domains, you know. You work across multiple domains. So what is the most reasonable approach to achieving it? And you start one first, and then you jump to the other one. Though I will say again that if once you become over time an expert from, let's say, the programming, or at least someone that is quite good in programming and coding domains, then automatically you've achieved the second step. So for example, if you do, is true in 80% of the cases. What I mean is, if you've been, maybe you're programming for a while, you've moved from a developer to an engineer to an architect, and you are so good in a particular field, then over time you are kind of already a knowledge expert. But is true in 9 out of 10 cases, but not in all cases, because some people are not, they can know something but not know how to teach it, or know how to express it, or know. So I don't know. Is ideal to combine multiple domains? That's the first question. But then if you now want to combine them, I would say start with any path. But the easiest path is to, if you must combine, first know the programming and the coding aspect. Then over time, you'll now be able to, let's say, either teach people of the benefits or actually teach people about it, you know. And a good example is, for example, maybe for a good example is maybe for 5, 6, 10 years you've been programming or you've been coding, and then after a particular time you are not even coding again. Your own is just you now have a school and you're teaching people. So, but that path was that first of all you are technically good, and then you now change into the knowledge field. So you are now is like a big lawyer. You know, I think that's the field, and like a big lawyer in Nigeria. After some time, the person is not going to court again. It's just his name that is just, you understand, to make money. So you can combine multiple domains, but to combine it, I think you need to move on the programming first and then move into the knowledge one. But if you start with the knowledge one, then it doesn't really guarantee you. So you might be able to tell people where to get developers, or maybe you can even tell people what kind of developers they need, but it doesn't, and it's fine. So I would say one sector like that is product managers. Though actually it's good for product managers to have a bit of technical knowledge, but product managers are fantastic. Coding, I think to be able to shed more light, even if they are not coding, they know what an ideal product should be like. They know what an ideal app should be like. They know what a product should do to be successful in terms of sales and marketing. So even if they don't know how to code. So yes, they have those cases in people are just good. But then if you start from that angle, then you probably just stay in that angle, because the better you are doesn't mean that you will now become a programmer, even though you're a product manager. I don't know, do you have a practical example, Tune?
Okay, so yeah, so a good product developer is somebody that builds product that people need. That's first definition. Because from experience, I mean, I've built some products that, I can remember in my early days, we built a product And it's just God that had mentioned that we were able to sell maybe 2-3 customers. But we spent years building, spent years and resources, bought money to build product. When we were going to go and present it the first day, the people say, Akinele, what's this? I said, what the? This is not how we work. This is not what we need. You know, I can imagine, and we're excited about what we have built everything. So from my experience, but what I do, most products I'm building now is because somebody came to meet me and said he has it. In fact, I really just wake up and start building. It's when I hear 3-4 people say the same thing or 5 people say the same thing, because that's the attribute of a good product developer. You must be able to listen to the society and get the vibe of what people are, what is the pain point. Because once you solve a pain point, it's not a magic. You are selling. If once it's a pain point and it's a labor saving device, you have markets. People pay you money for that. But sometimes you might not get that idea just being by yourself in your office and strategizing with your team. It doesn't come that way, because and sometimes you put phone calls through, you talk to people, and you try to ask. You must ask the right questions. Try and make somebody tell you where their pain point is. Because sometimes they don't even know. So I mean, there was a product I was asking these guys continuously. So will you, if you like, would you like it? Will you pay? I don't want to pay because don't pay because it's me or I'm a friend. You know, would you? If it wasn't me, would you pay? Would you be interested? Because that when you get that, you cannot begin to do the customer journey and begin to do interface and all that. But first and foremost, you must identify what the pain point is so that you don't waste your software. Software can be expensive. Software developers are no longer cheap. And these are all of us, most of us here are trying to go into that industry. Because they now command, they now command their price. And so if you are going to build a product for people, you must make sure that it's a pain point. Because once you identify that pain point, by that when people, and the thing is that sometimes people don't know. So your skills, be able to identify and find from them. I mean, I listen to conversations. Somebody start telling me what he went through. Somebody start telling me a story about something bad that he went through. I'm listening to, right when it comes to business, I'm just listening to find out there's something in this conversation that might be a solution. And if I hear it from 4, 5, 6 people, that's the end though. That means that means you are trying to, because that's where the opportunities are. It's not in our ability to visualize or imagine, because really, you are a seller. So you have to be sure that the individuals are buying. And in this age of post-COVID, people are trying to be resourceful with their money. It's painkillers they're looking for. Nobody wants to buy candy or vitamin. People are looking for painkillers. So try and be sure that. And there are a lot of pain out there. COVID has opened up other things. Balaji plays well in the tech industry. There are a lot of emerging problems now that companies are trying to respond to based on what they have gone through during this period. That they're trying to respond to. Those are their pain points. So anybody that's able to identify those pain points and begin to provide programs and services that is delivering the end point for them, it's a no-brainer. They are not going to start saying, is it fine? It might not even be fine. Because design guys, you can work on the finance, but can you work? I press it, will it deliver for me? Trust me, you have a market. That's how I think as a product person. From experience, I've built product, done the whole thing, do interface, do and finish. After working for 3 years, customers say, what is this? We force the product of people say, you must say, we market it, people have to buy it by force. Can you imagine? Because you could not imagine what that money has gone. So that's my own bit in terms of the thinking. The technical, I'm not that technical, but the thinking is important than the technicality. The technical guys can just tell you, we can build it, we can build it. No, that's not where the money is. It's who will use it and who will pay for it. That is the first question before you begin to start investing resources. And then you can have, and we test, we run ads in between, do some A and B testing, and see how the market responds. Then the ones that we have traction, when we are doing iteration, you just do some testing and say, okay, anyone that responds then you can improve on it. So that's my own contribution as as my own style of based on the offerings of developing products.
Okay. So we've got a question here saying, how can one join Cerebro on a part-time basis? If yes, what are your terms?
It's free to be a member of Cerebro. If you join from the talent end, as in the academy, there's no cost for you're part of the academy, so you're part of the learning. If you join our Slack channels, you can learn as much as you want. So there's really no part-time or full-time. But if your reference to part-time or full-time, you're talking about learning, yes. So more Talent Academy is like webinar based. So it means that if you want to learn a skill, if there's a webinar for it, attend that webinar. You don't have to, it's not like it's a school that you have to attend every day, you know, so it's flexible in that way. So I'm trying to answer the question as much as possible. So yes, join the academy if your purpose is to learn. If your purpose is to work, then you will have to join. Your skill will be verified, and then you should actually be good you can demonstrate that you're before you cannot join the worker pool. So maybe you're talking about part-time at the time of the worker pool. The worker pool, of course, is flexible. You can, if you are not available to work, then say you're not available to work. If you're available to work and you're verified, then things will be sent to you. So I've tried to answer the question on part-time from both the learning end and the work end.
Okay, another question here is, where does project management come in and how viable is it?
Okay, so one of the very should I say the nearest thing that you'll be able in project management is, I would call it product management. And the part of it that is, if project management is really your flair, then the very significant part of it is product management. Product management is actually a combination of three things. It's a combination of, first of all, like Tunde said, you must understand the business side of product. What is because the whole journey of product management means that it's a product. It's supposed to appeal to a market now. So there's no product without market. And if it doesn't meet some other things such as what's the demographics of the market, how much are they willing to pay? So there's a business side of product management. So, but let me start again. Product management is a combination of three things: the business side, the user experience side, and then the engineering side. So even though it is IT, there's those business, so product management is business plus UX plus engineering. The user experience means that if you want people to conduct a business using a product, usually a web application or a mobile application, the user experience is what determines whether they will use it. If people come to your app is supposed to sell shoe, and then the first thing they see on your app, your web app, is that our vision is to be the #1 shoe sales in Nigeria. That is zero. I have no business with your vision. The first thing I should see is, okay, get the comfortable fit or the fastest or the cheapest something, buy now. That is user experience. So it's a combination of understand how to appeal to people, or someone wants to use your app, say like Uber now, you logged in and they are saying the history of Uber. You understand? So the next thing they see is get a ride now or pitch a ride. So that is user. The engineering side is where your project management or regional project management will now come in. That means that can you lead engineering teams to deliver what needs to be built for us? So yes, project management comes in, and that means if you are able to manage that, then you can manage, you have to have people skills, because engineers or developers are usually, permit my words, coin people. So you need to be able to manage them, you are a bridge between the business and the engineering team. So you're able to manage them, manage their time, manage their deliverables, to be able to achieve a successful product. So even though they build an app, by the end of the day, your concern is to make sure that that app is actually a product that sells to the appropriate market and is looking good enough for the market. Okay, I think you're on mute, Billy.
Sorry, okay. So I'm going to go back to some of the questions that we skipped over in the earlier session. So someone is asking, what skills is necessary for the business consultant and product manager career?
Sorry, can you come again?
What skills are necessary for the business consultant and product manager career?
So yes, I just spoke about the product manager career. Product is 3 main skills. Number one, and that merges with the business consultants. You really have to understand what is the there's no product without a need, just like Sunday said. You get if people that just want to build apps can go and be getting themselves happy. If you want to solve a problem, then there has to be a problem before you have a product. So now that problem is a business problem. Do you understand? Engineers can keep their apps on their laptop and whatever they want to do with it. But if you're solving a business problem, then you need to understand the business problem, then other business dynamics, such as I said, the sales, the marketing, how much are they willing to pay for it? Where are they? Who are they? That's the marketing part. Who are these people that need it? Do you understand? Because you are making Pampers doesn't mean babies you are going to advertise for. Do you understand? Who are the people that are going to buy those products? So all those things are business terms. So you have to be basically good in understanding business and business principles. So that's one skill. Which I don't really know whether you can just learn that one online, or you need to practice it. Then the second skill is understand what good user interfaces are. So you can take courses in branding, skills in branding, user experience, user interfaces. There are a lot of courses. That one, trust me, you can learn it online. There are short courses on both branding, user experience, user interfaces. Those are the skills. You don't really need to build the thing yourself. So I won't say that you need to be a UI UX developer. You can be one, or you can just know about it and then know how to have people achieve it for you. Then the third one is like the engineering, understanding engineering teams, their roles. Do I need this person? Do I not need this person? Do you understand? Those are the skills I think you need for both. For business consultancy, you really need to know the problem of the business before you want to consult for them. So I'm hoping I'm able to answer that question.
All right. I think this is going to be this is the last one. Emmanuel Ojo is asking, please, can you give more details on front end and back end coding, sir? That's quite generic.
Yeah. So yeah. Front-end coding, so both are coding, both are programmatic. You can have both as developers, but okay, so let me start from a person that can do both comfortably is called a full stack developer. So they can do front-end, they can do back-end, that usually includes understanding mobile. Let me say, front-end is basically everything you see. So this is a website, if you click, what happens, how it moves from page to page, or in the mobile app, you click this one shows you, this one plays. Everything you see in an app is done by a front-end engineer. Whether it's a web app, a website, websites are usually website designers anyway. Or for front-end engineer, anything is in an application, mobile application is usually done by a front-end engineer or a full-stack engineer that does both front and back. Back-end, you basically, as a user, you don't see what the back-end engineer does. If I might break it down a bit more complex, every application has 4 layers. Let me start from the front. The user interfaces are the first layer. The business logic is like now shared between front and the business logic is the code. If this person is a new person, show the welcome screen. If this person has come before, if this person is owing money, say you cannot proceed, pay your subscription. That business logic is in the logic layer. The third layer is the data layer. So everything they submit, their profile, their first name, their last name, how much they bought, everything is stored in the data layer, and then the infrastructure. Infrastructure is which server was it placed on. So the backend kind of combines those two. That's data and infrastructure layer. So I think there are 4 layers: user interface, the business, the logic, the data, and the infrastructure. Backend people deal with all the data, where is it stored, the data models, and the backend, the servers. That's backend people. And then front-end people is just deciding on, okay, how it looks. Then if I log in, what do I see? If I've selected too many people, what does it show me? Those are front-end engineers.
All right, thank you very much. So that will be the end of this round of Q&A. But before we go quickly, Bolaji and Tunde, if you guys have like maybe 1 or 2 final words to say to everybody, you know, like a take home from today's session. Tunde, you might go first. You're muted. Sorry.
Okay. I think closing remarks. It's COVID-19 has fast-tracked. There's always been there, but has fast-tracked the need for technological skills generally. I mean, any child now that is being born in this year 2020 has to. I mean, parents will know that this one is only technology that can keep this child alive on Earth. So technology skill has become very important. And I want to say that they're not as difficult as people make them look. The reason why it's a bit difficult for quite a number of us is that we didn't grow up learning logic. So because critical reasoning and all those, because once you grew up in an environment where that is your meta skill, that's the way you reason, that's the way you see life. Moving dealing with technology would be a lot more easier journey for you. But at the same time, it's not too late. You still have a lot of opportunities to make a difference in your career. Monster Point is a workspace solution business. I just want to talk a little bit about. I mean, we offer workspace solution as a service to all from the entire value chain, from one-man business to a startup to an SME to a large corporation, and we are positioned clearly to also enable productivity, because we found out that I mean, I work with developers here, so I found out, because I'm a problem solver, so I look for where the problems are. So I found out that even when in discussions with them, we able to understand some of the things that even make them more productive as a person. Aside, because technology requires a level of there's a level of the environment, and there's an environment that delivers maximum productivity for a technology job, because it's not everywhere you can actually code easily, you know, and deliver. But there's a lot of factors that also influences you. Even the soul meta skill we're talking about, there are research that shows ways in which the environment plays a role in that. And so Monster Point is into that, and we'll be coming up with, in fact, we have our first report. I might just make that available to interested in. We have our first report out. It's called the Lagos Workforce Productivity Report. You know, one. I might share the link for those that want to. It's free. You can download it and just read through it and learn a few things about how we are trying to solve for productivity in the city of Lagos. And for me, technology is going to be one of the tools that we have to leverage on to enable that people are able to deliver their work, because technology is a labor-saving device. If there's anything that's remote, yeah, there are other things that it delivers, but it's a labor-saving device. That means it makes people do more. You know, and it reduces the human. If you are not physically fit and you're a software developer, you can still be healthy. The jobs that are tied to you being muscular or being physically fit, you know, are not even highest paying. So your cerebral, which means cerebral, your mental, so your mind, you being cerebral, is the way to stay relevant, stay knowledgeable, stay learning. So I will probably put the link. I'll post the link somewhere, and have. I think I'll just post it now so that I don't forget. I have it. Sorry, I think I missed it. Let me just get it. I'll post the link so that people that are interested can actually download it, and we'd like to hear from participants who find our services unique, and I look forward to opportunities to also share some of our learnings with people. But generally, I think my closing remarks, let me see, I think I wrote some things down. Just repeat something that I spoke about. A change of mind is needed to deliver this. It's not hard. I mean, I used to be in that position where I thought some things I could not do, but just applying myself to it and trying to sleep is a luxury. So sacrifices will be made. Let me just give you some. Let me just say it as it is. Be prepared to make sacrifice. Give up sleep. Invest time and money. Then work with the right kind of people. I mean, my relationship, my inner caucus, they are the kind of people that wants to improve. And Bolaji, the reason why me and Bolaji are probably doing this is because we share the same mindset, you know. So that's the network. You must choose your network carefully. Don't go and stay on the street. If you stay on the street, they'll pour out your body or the person. So make sure that the environment which you surround yourself with are the people that are pushing you towards that which will deliver maximum value for your life and journey into switching careers. I think those are the very important things. Then you need to be really real and intentional about the change. Then pamper yourself. Be kind to yourself. Don't because it can be tough sometimes. You just say, be kind to yourself. You are not doing badly. Because that's some of the things I've learned dealing with software developers. Sometimes they can be very, very harsh on themselves. That's why even sometimes they have mental health issues. Please don't get into that drift. If you think that you are burning out, take out some time to relax and then resume back into learning and all that. I think that's about it for me. I don't know. Bolaji wants me to say anything now. Glad. All right. Thank you.
Yeah, no, I think that's like the perfect closing. Basically, the webinar is basically just a seed. But as you now take that seed, you need to take it with a mindset, and that's what Tunde has said. So it's basically a seed. Everything is actually within reach. Trust me, you can achieve whatever you want to achieve. You can, and you will achieve it if you give into it. Have continuous learning, network with the best people you can network with, and be willing to learn and don't give up. Put in the best to it. To follow up, I think the screen that is being shared give you different points to follow up. I think, am I correct, believe also, this slide is available?
Yes, I've just posted the link now. So if you want to just go through the slides again, I've posted the link in the chat, so you can just take that down and you would have the PowerPoint deck. Also, just want to say thank you, everybody, for joining us in today's session. It's one of many that we have in Cerebro. So if you want to find out other ways, because a lot of people were asking about questions on how they could learn certain IT skills. So we offer that at Cerebro. We offer free and paid webinars for the various skills in IT. So just visit events.cerebro.work and then sign up for those events while you can. If you have any more questions, if you need any form of support, or you need us to help you in any way, send an email to support@cerebro.work, and then you would also get regular updates and announcements from us. And then to network and connect to other IT developers, individuals, and people in your field, join our Slack network on cerebrowork.slack.com. So thank you everyone once more. We hope you actually went home. You're going home now with something very tangible. And watch out for our next events on our social media channels and also on our events page. Once more, have a very good day. Thank you, Tunde and Bolaji, for your time. We hope for more sessions from both of you in the future. So with that, we're calling it a day. Have a good day, everyone. Bye.